all right. Well, I'm bitch. Hola, Mr. Nati. How's it that? Okay. Good, man. How you doing? Hey, hello. Okay. How you guys doing? Nati, do you wanna come up? Should I invite you? Eh? Kukenye that. Hey, Tara King. How you doing, my brother? Mr. Zamadota. You missed a good conversation, my one boy. It was all about suits. I thought you were gonna come watch it, but you missed out. All right. All right. Okay. Ah, man. All right. Okay. How's that to me? All right. I hope it's gonna be a good one, guys. Thank you very much for coming through. Let's make the circle bigger. All right. Our main man is coming. You know. Oh yeah, here we go. All right. So let me request him. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's get the music on there.
Yeah.
Hola.
Yes, man.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much, Apes.
Ke
I'm
kopa
playing
o
your
tle
things in
phone
the
ya hao.
background here. Yes.
Yeah, ke kopa o tle phone ya hao. O re bontshe timetable so o dlale for 5 minutes.
No, what I did because I struggled with the decks because you have to move around and get them. So what I did, I'm playing my mix. The mix that is playing in the background is my recent deep house mix that I just released. I think 2 weeks ago with Home of DJs. Just enjoy it. It's quite laid back stuff that I believe is for matured.
Isa volume modimo.
Okay.
Fuck up music, keep DJ. Fuck up music.
No, I can't let go. I'm begging on my knees to surrender my soul.
Yes.
When I was staring at the sea, oh, the truth can be cold, but it's the only way to be.
Ba bona se tlo batlela di love bites.
You know what I'm all? It's like it's for the mature, not
I
for the
love it.
faint-hearted. Thank you.
Don't surrender, babe. Don't surrender.
Yes.
Ifake moya nyazi.
Pakamoya, makura mtulu. One more minute, guys. Okay, voy Yes.
Hola, Robert. Robert, welcome.
Hola, warra. Alright, Abud. No, rekai tuana data. Harus saving the data.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hoshi.
Ole one, that's what.
Yeah, ukai tuana kamu, Hoshi.
Okay, I know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Hey, evening, man. Cape Town is dark now.
Oh, sorry, I'm saying afternoon. Good evening, my bro. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm cool, man. And evening to everyone who's watching here, also.
Yes,
Or who will
yes.
also watch afterwards, because I know some people will rather maybe watch it later, But
later on.
Yes, but welcome to everyone.
Thank you very much. Some of the guys are still watching the news. They're still watching the update of this corona,
Hey.
Yeah. And how's Cape Town? How's Cape Town today, bro? How's Cape Town? How's the weather?
Oh, it's quite cold, but over the past 2 months, it's just been indoors for us. So some of us can't actually even tell how is it outside, because you only go outside when there's a need, So otherwise, it's quite a cold day, rainy,
Serious raining,
How's Josie, my brother? I miss
No.
that place.
Thank you very much for asking, man.
Yeah, no.
It's very cold. Joburg is very cold. It started this cold. The temperature started dropping. I think it was on Monday. That's when there was that cold front. Yes, then it's been very, very cold. Even in the morning, it's such a mission. Yeah,
but that's what happened to me. When I was still working that side, I never had this issue of sinus and all. But one day it was so cold. I was staying in the Alberton side. The temperatures were on the minus. I think I slept with my heater on a carpet, and I woke up and my nose started acting for like 2 weeks. And then I went to the doctor. He told me that of this sinus. So I suspect that it was because of that winter season.
No, we'll overcome that. It's a passing season. Welcome, my brother. I hope it's gonna be a good conversation. It's a one-way conversation. So I'm asking you questions, and the viewers are asking you questions. You're not allowed to ask me anything.
Plus I don't like asking questions anyway.
Yeah, it's all about you, And then let's make clear, is my network okay on your side? Can you see me properly?
So we should be fine.
It's fine. Okay.
You said I shouldn't ask.
Yours has been fine. Yours has been fine. Yeah. So we might have issues. The network has been very unstable, but Mabanya was very fortunate. Yesterday, the network was 100%. So I just hope for today as well. Isan.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Am I cutting?
It's right. Your network, but you're fine now, I believe.
Oh man, all right, let's go through it to Music and Lights with Molatelo, King Retro. All right, Ntate. Basically today we just wanna get to understand who's Molatelo, who is King Retro. And then where did it all begin? And then, just general. And our guys there who knows you from Cape Town can ask you questions as well. So just tell us, who is Molatelo? If we have to strip everything, if we have to strip everything else, or your titles, your DJ, who is Molatelo?
No, it's a man born in Polokwane, in a place called Indermark, deeper in Limpopo, central region of Limpopo. That's where I was raised. I went to school in those areas all the way, and then moved to study in Johannesburg, Vestec then. And then, corporate world, consumed me through Vodacom, who happened to be my bursary while I was at tertiary. I worked for them for some years, and then now I'm with Telkom. But over those years, my profession was electrical engineering, and then I obviously did some postgrads in project management degrees with the CPUT in Cape Town, and I also studied MBA, which I graduated in 2015. So currently,
wait. You're going too fast. All right, so you grew up in Polokwane, Endermark. Yes. I'm very familiar with Endermark.
Yes.
Because I come from the western side of Louis Trichardt. Yes. So the people from Endermark, they actually use Makado as their town to buy stuff.
Yeah,
it's very far. Yeah, it's very far. And I just hope the government of ANC can build a mall for the people of Endermark.
No, it's been built. There's a shopping center that is roughly 15 minutes away or 15 minutes away in Bochum. Yeah. I don't know if you know Bochum.
Bochum, sure Endermark Bochum is one of the
things. That is where people shop now. There's ShopRite.
Oh, serious?
The banks and everything. Yeah, no. They do have this in the Shisanyama there.
Okay.
It's quite a busy small town or small complex, that one.
Bochum, nice. Because for a very long time they were shopping in Komakado, which is quite a stretch.
Yes. True.
Yeah. And then tell me, bro, how's this lockdown been treating you, where now as an individual, how has the lockdown been on you?
For some people, I think lockdown was more of a break for some, but for me, it's just been busy because of my profession. Because I've got two professions. I'm a DJ on part-time basis. Obviously, that had to go on a pause. But also being an engineer, I manage telecom mobile network planning. So there's so much pressure on the network than it was in my whole entire experience working for this in this industry. Since Vodacom times and all, I've never worked in a situation whereby the demand for telecommunications has grown. So it's been quite busy. This lockdown has never been lockdown for some of us, even though I'm working indoors, but just the whole coordination and ensuring that people stay connected, people are able to make calls, people are able to access internet, social media, ensuring that our network is stable, and where upgrades are needed, we are upgrading, and making sure that my colleagues are always safe and checking up on them. It's been busy. But it was a lesson, and it's still a lesson. I'm learning a lot in this period.
Yeah, because all right, I think we will go get back to that, because like what you are saying, when it comes to demand in terms of capacity, network capacity, I don't think the networks were ready, for data traffic more than anything else. There's more social media live streaming than it was than never before.
True.
So with your roles, I'm sure as telecoms you needed to put new measures in place, to compensate the network so that it can take the strain. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but if you look at Telkom itself, Telkom has been notorious for these special deals over the years, like especially the past 3 years. People have got this, they say, there's this more deals, all this. So those deals had already put pressure on the network. So people like me, I'm used to that, because I can wake up tomorrow, the company has launched a new product and people are just buying it, and I can see on my stats tools that the traffic has gone up. So I always have to react to them. So this one, even though it was unusual, because obviously it was a huge growth. It was not different to what I've been experiencing over the years. You know, you've been in this product selling. I remember your time with Vodacom, where you sell products to customers. So when they come and say there's Yevo for less, and the network just boom. So this thing is more like a new product was launched and the network just boomed. So we had to react. But luckily, I'm sure you see in the media, ICASA has been very supportive of network operators. They gave people spectrum, to use. So we are working. We are trying to accommodate. People are complaining. Some inbox me, some DM me. I address some of those, where we can address, but we are waiting some particular upgrades. I also advise people, but I'm for certain that we are trying by all means to manage this thing. Yeah.
So am I safe to say, my friend, my dear brother, my blood from another mother, am I safe to say this December, this festive, when they give you bonuses, are you gonna put me closer to you as your dear friend and a brother, ne? You will look after me.
There's the problem with this lockdown. There's wins and there's wins, there's losses. So you may look at it as we are busy. At the end of the day, it will still go to the financials. People might be using data, but they are very cautious now in spending. So you may find that when next year, when we do the financial year results come, they say a different thing. The companies are not busy, are not meeting their EBITDA, all those things. You find that we worked hard, but we are not meeting. So it will always boil down to the financial targets. But if the financial targets suggest otherwise, my dear brother, we can sit and have something. Hey, which I doubt, man. Which I doubt. I seriously doubt.
Because you know what? To be honest with you, we had a staff meeting, Rona, and I'm not going to mention the name of a company I work for.
True.
But we were informed that we are not going to be getting bonuses.
True.
Or not bonuses. We are not going to be getting increases.
Yeah.
So it's two-way. Either we get a salary cut, and then we get increases. So management decided that let's rather not get increases and just get our salary. And we don't know for how long. So this is really bad. So guys like you and I, we're quite fortunate that we still be receiving salaries at the end of the month. There are people out there who've been without salaries for three months now. It's really sad. Yeah.
Yeah, no, true. I look at this time like as a time where you put being selfish aside. You just have to be compassionate. If my company decides that, we want to take a particular, like say, an amount, let's say we take 50 million or 60 million and give it to a particular organization in support, but also sacrificing some of us, like in terms of salaries, and say, you're not going to get any salary increases, or maybe we'll cut the salary somehow. This is the time. This is not the time to fight companies for those kind of things. You must just be grateful that you are still working and you are still you are able to support others. Because remember, some companies that we work for, they sponsor foundations. There's lots of charities that rely on these companies. So we have to play our role also, to accept what needs to be accepted. We can't be going to the street and say we are going to on a strike, over salaries and what. This is not the time. This is just not the time.
No, it's not the time. Yeah, I mean, Teboho Mafudi also agrees. He says it's even more sad for us who are self-employed. So, Teboho, there's a friend of mine. He's going to be coming on. He's self-employed. He works with his wife, and then they've got three kids. And the salary has been affected because what they do consulting for companies in learning and development, So those companies that they consult, they've been on a shutdown. So these guys have been without a salary for 3 months and they've got a family. So it's very, very tough for them, So so we will take questions, Sebata, as we go, ne? So my next question, I know you and I, we worked together at Vodacom when we were young and innocent. It was all good, And I remember I relocated first to Cape Town in 2006. I got an opportunity, that was going to put me a notch up. And then I took that opportunity. And then a few months later, you also relocated within Vodacom department, technical and engineering. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then, I was a stranger in Cape Town, and I didn't have any friends when I arrived there. And then you came, and we became so close than never before. Even though we used to play soccer here in Joburg through work.
Yes, yes.
But for you, how was it relocating to Cape Town? I mean, you are just a Polokwane-based person, and you relocate to Cape Town. And how did you adjust?
Yo, my brother, it was very tough. But I remember, you know, just a month before moving to Cape Town, I had an offer with Cell C. And then the offer was not far off from what I got in Cape Town. But my heart just told me that, you know what, I didn't want to leave the Vodacom at that point in time. So my move to Cape Town, as it was growth. Because, you know, Vodacom at the time, like, obviously within the company, I had mastered their progression levels, and I saw that they favor me. So then the level that they were offering me in Cape Town was something that was going to take me up, and also in terms of learning, because I was very young and believed in learning. I think it was my second year as a permanent employee of Vodacom when I moved to Cape Town. And when I moved to Cape Town, the first I think 3-4 weeks were very tough. The weather conditions were bad. I remember driving around Durbanville with this guy who was my supervisor, and I was just looking at the clouds, and I'm thinking, you know what, this is not what I signed for. Maybe I should go back to Johannesburg. You know, but when they gave me like my scope to say, you know what, we want you to take this northern suburbs, like I was going to plan the network, Vodacom network planning from Century City all the way to the tunnel on the N1, all those farms.
Yes.
It became interesting, because I was dealing with, as much as I was planning network from scratch in some areas, I was also dealing with customer complaints. So I would visit farmers in Paarl, farmers in Stellenbosch. You know, when you visit these farmers, real owners of the farms, and then the conversation that we had, I started realizing that I'm learning more than I was learning that side. Like, because they were talking about business. I would speak to a farmer, a supplier for Pick and Pay. I'm a supplier for Checkers. You know, they were supplying big companies, but when you look at the farm, it's just a farm. I remember going there with an intern who were busy talking about the network, and this farmer was so listening to me attentively, and I was talking to him, and I was like, yeah, don't worry about this problem. I'm going to sort it out, man. It's just a mere coverage problem. And I saw one of his workers opening my boot. They started loading cabbages, you know, pumpkins, and then I realized that, no, you know what? I'm in Cape Town now. There were challenges. I remember at some point I was in Justin Flag Day, somewhere in Kraaifontein. We were busy working, and then I was talking to this lady, the owner of the house, apparently, because she was the complainant. There was a guy who was busy fixing the bulbs and all. So she was telling me about issues like that she was experiencing regarding Vodacom network at the time, and you know, I was looking at options. I told her, no, look, I'm gonna give you a booster. You know, when you give someone a booster, obviously it's gonna take time before they install. So I was like, bye-bye. Hey, man, that man who was quiet the whole time held my hand and said, you're not going anywhere, man. You are not going until this problem is solved. You know, I started seeing the dynamics now, that there are people who want problem to be solved now. There are people who are willing to listen when you give them, like, tell them that, okay, this can be resolved within 2 weeks. So the dynamics of people and the demographics and everything, the population, the people that were in Cape Town and the kind of people that were here, they started inspiring me to stay. Then I realized that, no, now I'm going to stay in this city because there's a lot to learn. Wow. There's a lot to learn. And it was a very beautiful and successful 3 years with Vodacom Cape Town at the time before moving.
Yes. You know what? I can relate to your story very, very well. Because when I got to Cape Town, you know, I had this white family that my mom worked for. So they accommodated me. They are my family. I grew up with their son. We are like blood. They are white. They love me so much. I love them. So I stayed with them for 3 months. And then, but on weekends, my colleagues will say, "Hey, what are you gonna be doing this weekend? I mean, are you not gonna get bored alone? Where you staying?" I'm like, no, I'll sort myself. You know what? That Friday, I just went to town. I went to Kings Bay, to all those nightclubs, the white nightclubs. And as I enter, I was received so well. And then all I know, by the following week, I was inviting my colleagues to the parties.
Because remember, when I first came to Cape Town, to be honest, my friends in Johannesburg, I know some are watching. Even there, I can see lots of Cape Town people are watching here. Yeah. In Johannesburg, I never liked going out, man, like that much. I would go to News Cafe, Rosebank. You know, it used to have those nice Thursdays there and there. Yeah. But when I came to Cape Town, I started going out a lot because of you. You know, you came, you picked me up the first night. You took me to some party in Gardens, and we got there. It was a house party. Yes. On the ground, they were playing hip hop. Upstairs, they were playing house music. And I was like, yo, this is a party. And then we didn't spend even 10 minutes. We were like, no, man, this party is boring. Let's go. I was like, yo, what's happening? The party is so nice. You said, let's go. And then we went to Camps Bay. Then we ended up at Hemisphere, where, you know, Hemisphere, where there's Absa building in Cape Town Central.
Upstairs, yeah.
Upstairs, and then while you are dancing, you can feel the building like shaking. And I thought, no, this is not what I signed for. You dropped me at my place in Century City. After dropping me there, you said to me, it was around 5 a.m. The sun was about to come out. I think it was to 6. Yeah. You said, I think around 2 p.m. I'll pick you up. There's something with Metro. And I said to you, no, don't worry. I've got some work to do. I was lying because I was not used to this thing of going out back to back. I was like, oh, this man just want to kill me now. But yeah, honestly, Cape Town, as much as it has shifted a little bit in terms of entertainment, it still has the similarities, even though they shifted towards the townships now. But in all honesty, those things combined, going forward, they got me to fall, you know, more and more in love with Cape Town. Because remember, in Gauteng, we had that thing of, hey, you go to Soweto, hey, color inches, you know, Soweto is not. But in Cape Town, we didn't have those issues where you're at the club, you're worried about crime, and you know, it was so nice. It was just safe. You
know what happened? When I got to Cape Town, like I said, I didn't know everyone. I didn't know anybody, you know? But the people that I got to meet, they will tell me about some name of a guy who was very dangerous, Eguguletu. And I remember, I mean, now I used to frequent Guguletu, like I would just drive on a Sunday to Okwamzoli to go get some food for the Sunday food. Because I was staying with this white family, so on Sunday I would just go drive to Guguletu and get some food. Yeah. And then so I will meet some guys, and the conversation they will speak about this dangerous guy Guguletu who's a gunman, you know. Yeah. And I remember I also go to tell you, there's a gunman here, but he kills, you know. True. But those things, they didn't derail us from socializing Guguletu. You know, we actually made more friends, you know, even our cars were with the GP registrations, you know. So we were welcomed, and in my next 2 months of being there, my network of friends was huge. And I think I was quite fortunate because I met the right people who then introduced me to the social people, the socialites in Cape Town, you know, people who were connected. So they then adopted me as their friend, as their brother, you know. I'm sure you also went through the same path, right?
True. I went through the same path. And also, I think another thing that helped, you know, that is this how I've noticed, even our township brothers. You know, if once you find fun in something, you just enjoy it. Because remember, even when you told me about this dangerous guy in Guguletu, I remember we were at some club in Cape Town. I can't remember whether it was Club Velvet or what. You know, where you go, and then that guy was there, and then there was this song playing, Black Coffee's remix of, you know, that lady, Vusim Klong. You were like, yeah, the guy is here, he's wearing white shoes. Just look down, you'll see white shoes. Don't look at you, you know. But we found, we would laugh about it. Next week, we are out. We were not scared, you know, because you know, there's fun in everything that people will tell you something, but you find fun in that particular thing. So that is what drove us, because I couldn't imagine myself like now working like or playing in Kailicha full time like I'm doing now, you know, all those kind of things at the time. But you know, because I found fun, like Robert is laughing because he knows what we're talking about. You know, we just find fun in everything. Even people like my friend Tebo in Gauteng, even when the people are like saying so it is not safe. will take me to Soweto to buy me quarters. And then I always look forward to Soweto. There's always something about a place, KB. It doesn't matter which place. There's always something about a place that will get you to that place, even if people are talking about those places like stories and what. Tourists come to Cape Town. Hey, Cape Town, what? They still go to Google Tomb, Zolis. This is life. That's how true. Find fun.
Yeah. And I mean, you know what's the funny part? I happened to actually get to meet this dangerous guy, Wako Gugulet, you know? And then he actually recognized me when I was there, because he used to see me in different clubs, in different places, so my face became familiar. So one time I actually got to meet him, and he was such a nice guy, but very fearful. I mean, people who were were very afraid of him. But in person, was I think did you meet the guy when I eventually? We don't want to mention names.
A lot of times we sat down. A lot of times, you know, a lot of times. I mean, it's hardly 5 months. I was with him. We were talking. We were discussing serious businesses. You know, I would laugh when I look at him. You know, because he's still the same guy. But that was my early days of Cape Town. Yeah, but I adapted. AB. It's 12 years later.
Yeah. 12 years, yeah. I mean, my next question was, I was going to ask you that, how did you adapt? And we have covered that. And my question was, and then the follow-up question was that, were you ever lonely? So me and you, we were never lonely in Cape Town. You know, we never missed home. True. And then where now you are still there. The reason I came back is because I felt I was not succeeding in my role for Cape Town. You know, and that was too much of a pressure for me, so I just asked for a relocation. But if it wasn't for that, I would have stayed long in Cape Town, because you know, my farewell party, it was a food club.
I remember
at Seasons, my farewell was huge, and it was all the invited people, and the word was spreading for AB is relocating back to Cape Town. And now we're not today, you are the talk of time, you know.
Yeah, AB, you know, and I almost left, I think, within a year or so. I think 2009 and 10. But at that time, they wanted to move me back to Sandton, Gauteng, Vodacom. But then that's when Telkom came. Before, remember, Telkom Mobile was launched in 2010, and then that's when I was approached by Telkom. Look, we've got this interesting project. We're starting a new cellular network. How about you manage our company in Cape Town, planning? So I started right there. It was a very interesting. It was something that I wasn't gonna let go. Like, I was never gonna move to Gauteng to go and continue what I was doing already at Vodacom, rather than taking an opportunity where I'm gonna look at, if I look at Telkom network like Western Cape and Eastern Cape, I would say, I can proudly say I planned the whole network, you know, from scratch. There was nothing, there was no tower, no Telkom, nothing. I joined in, I hired people, I planned towers from scratch before the launch. I joined them in August. We had to build about, I think, 30 to 40 sites. We launched the network. It was 8 high at the time. It was an interesting project. I remember one friend, Robert, asking me, are you sure you're really leaving Vodacom? I said, Robert, I might be leaving Vodacom for Telkom. It was not a significant change in terms of salaries, but this is an experience. One day, I will tell my children and my grandkids and say, if you see Telkom Mobile in Western Cape and Eastern Cape, the first tower was planned by me, you know, to a point where the whole team was built by me, you know. So it was an interesting project, AB. So you can imagine where the 12 years came from. There was no way I was going to leave. So like when I look at the network, Telkom Mobile network in Western Cape, it's like my baby. I can't just leave my baby like that. I'm like, I'm jealous about it. I'm like, I'm holding on to it, you know. I'm holding on to it. I can't just let go. So it's been an interesting almost 10 years with Telkom now.
Now I know very much, because we used to meet Kopali. You know, I will be attending my meetings with the clients, and after my meeting, I will call you and say where you are, and I will say I'm in Pali. Where are you? And you say, Hoshi, I'm also in Pali. I was fixing something, and we will meet somewhere in Pali. And then you will be driving with your laptop and all those gadgets, and we say, no, there's a bit of a problem in this area, Mona. But I need to fix it. I need to fix it quickly, and it's a problem. But I've got a solution for it, and then off I go. In 30 minutes or less, you will call me, Jorge. No, that problem is fixed. There was nothing, you know. It's done. It's not gonna be. So I mean, you are very good with what you do. You understand? Very, very good.
Thank you.
So okay. Sipiwe Silent says, learn a lot from you, Moneshu. Very brave. Now what you want, and now what you want.
Yeah.
I
think he's saying you know what you want. Yes.
Robert. Oh, you know what you want. Yeah, Robert. So I wanted to ask you, Mpinje, because when I go to Cape Town, even before I left Joburg, I was warned, no, Cape Town is very discriminative. Yes. There's a lot of racism there. But tell me personally, because I stayed in Cape Town for full 2 years, and yes. I went there looking for racism. You understand?
Yes. Yes.
And in all the places that I was going, my clients were purely white, you know, but I was not ill-treated. Did you ever experience anything like that? I mean, from what I heard at the beginning with your clients in farming, you were welcomed. So,
yeah, no, you know, I had friends in farming, like I had wine farmers who just became friends. I had one wine farmer in Paradebe who gave me, I think, about 18 water bottles. I drank those water bottles for the whole year. It was so nice. And then I've got one in Robertson. Those people would just call me for fun. Just, how are you, Pietras? Because they were using my Afrikaans name, you know. My line manager in Cape Town, first line manager was white. We were fine. My supervisor was colored. We were fine. And then I joined Telkom. You know, it's very difficult in terms of, maybe if you haven't experienced it, and then if you have experienced it. I'd never had encounters when I go to a restaurant and I fought with the waiter or I fought with the manager because of something related to racism. And if we look at that, I've got at Telkom, I'm a manager, and I manage about 13 people, of which two of them are whites. I've got one who's colored, and then that is 13. So that means 10 are black. And if you look at my team concentration, someone might come and say, this guy is, you know, the first impression, sometimes we may say, why so many blacks? Because he's a black manager, so he hired blacks. I don't know if there is some things that's happened, I've done interviews where a colored guy was successful, he would get the job. Or a black guy was successful, he would get a job, but maybe reject, you know, like those things happen over time. But racism, I think sometimes it could be there, but you may not see it depending on how your mindset, you know, because some things, I'm a very optimistic person, I'm sure you know. Someone can insult me to the highest degree, but I may choose to ignore because some things they're not worth it. So by all means, I always try to move away from that, and I will never champion anything racism, never. Even people that I'm saying, like the two guys that I work with, they are very old. One is 50-something years old, the other guy is 40-something years old. But the relationship we have has got nothing to do with color, because at the end of the day, we are colleagues. When I move into the restaurant, he's the manager of the restaurant. He's white. His job is management. If I've got something to complain, I'm not happy with the food, I'll approach him and say, I'm not happy with your food. I'll go to Robertson. We went to Franschhoek the other day. The chef came, he was white, and we commended his food. You know, it just turned into a very good conversation. So it depends. Like I say, positive mindset is needed sometimes. But yes, any form of racism must not be tolerated anywhere. But in Cape Town, I think sometimes it's a hearsay. If he's there, he's there. It could be anywhere. It could be in Johannesburg. It could be in Mpumalanga. It could be in Limpopo. You know, but it just happened because I remember in Gauteng, I used to work with guys, and then the guy was very angry because he went to attend a customer who was white, and they say, "VT, hier geld that you get from Vodacom, you know, it's a boere geld, you know." I had one cousin of mine who went to a braai, and then in the braai, he asked his colleague to give him a vorse. You know, they were braaiing, then it's like, please pass me a vorse. And that white guy said to him, "Nee, it's nie a vorse, it's a boere vorse." You see, my cousin could have changed it to say, my cousin could have said, You know what? This guy is racist because he wants me to say boerewors because he says a boerewors. But my cousin, like I think he's got the same heart as me. He ignored it, but he you know what? He found it. He took it as a joke. I had one guy. As a boerewors. Yeah. And then there was one guy in Nigel Springs. So he was a customer. That guy, he refused to call me Molatelo. He said, I'm not going to call you Molatelo. Yes, Petras here. Pietras.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, he said, no, I'm going to call you Pietras, not Molatelo. Pietras. Man, it doesn't make him racist towards me. That's why I said sometimes it's the mindset. Obviously, 1994 onwards, it's still work in progress. Let's see how far it gets. But we can still make our country better.
Honestly, I think when I went there, I was very aware of the racism in Cape Town. So even when I go to places, I will walk in a restaurant expecting to be discriminated.
Yes.
And then I was so disappointed. Because everywhere where I went, I was just welcomed. Because I've always been training. And then when I go to the Camps Bay, to all those nice clubs, white clubs, and the white bouncers will actually commend my physique. They say, wow, man, you got a nice physique. Where do you train? Come in. And they shake my hand. And then I'm socializing there. And then I move. I used to do club hopping. So I will move from that club and I'll go to the other one in Gardens. In Gardens, it's a white club as well. And then the bouncers are white and they will welcome me. So I'm like, where is this racism that people are talking about? So I think sometimes it is there, but if you've got an eye for it, you will pick it up. Like when in your instance, you choose to ignore it, because people, I mean, that person, especially the story of boerewors, one would have taken offense. One would have taken offense very quickly. What is it?
Yeah, or no, it's near Vors. Yeah.
So let's move along.
Okay, brother.
Let's move along. We've done the career side, the Cape Town environment. So let's come to you being a DJ, man. And where did this thing, the love of music, come from? I know I introduced you to the social scene.
Yes,
I didn't know, my man. Why are you only telling me now, Jorge? I'm the one that kept you up all these nights. Why am I getting to be about it now?
Hey, my brother, I remember the other day I was coming to you, I was staying in Durbanville then, and then I turned back and I called you. I was like, hey, man, there's a big accident on that Plateau of 10 off. So I decided to go back home and sleep. I'm not going out. So
I remember,
yeah, I remember that it was on a Saturday night. So yeah, the DJ thing. I mean, I grew up in a family that is God-fearing. Going to church where you sing and all. I was a tenor singing. I was very good. Sometimes I would even lead the songs. Because there's two denominations of FCC. There's a star. There's a dove. The dove, they've got church choir. So I was in the church choir and I was quite very good. I remember meeting some guy at the airport one day. He said, I didn't know the guy. It's like he was not my age, but he was young. It's like, my brother, you know what? You motivated, you inspired me to be a singer, in a church. So that guy decided he's going to take the choir serious because of me, because of how I was singing. He enjoyed my singing. So music, majority of the DJs, music starts somewhere. You could be playing the organ at the church. You could be singing at the church. I think my love for music started while I was at the church. I grew up. I loved Umoja. Umoja, the guy who's like, Marmoloi, those kind of songs.
Yeah, I know. I love his music. Yeah.
I used to love that music. And then even the Budaza, I used to love Budaza, Gloria, Hallelujah. I used to sing those. I remember when I was with Vodacom. Now I started collecting music for real. Now, if I look at my wardrobe, my music wardrobe or library, you'd be scared. I've got each and every album, like, of all these artists, even the retired ones. I've got their music, especially the compilers. Sure. You could hear even before we started this interview, I was playing a nice soulful mix, of which some people don't even know that I come back I come from that. You remember there were lots of songs that we used to listen to together. But at the time, it was just love for music. But the more I went to the clubs in Cape Town, I started seeing the gap. Because remember, we used to go to, there was a club called Blush. That Blush,
I know, I remember, yeah.
Honestly speaking, Blush used to push deep house. And then when season came, before season was taken by, I think, the Nigerian guy, the music was deep at the time. It was, those guys who were managing Blush.
Bumpande, yeah, they used to run seasons,
Yeah, I remember it was a deep house club. But slowly but surely, deep started fading. Because now the clubs are becoming more commercial, more, they love those beats. But because of my love for music at the time, I said, no, you know what, deep house can't die. I'm here. I started getting into this thing of playing and learning. That was, even though I had an idea of how to play, because when I came to Cape Town, I already had an idea. I would go to house parties, in Gauteng and play. But I remember losing my jacket at some party in Joburg. And that is some of the things that were discouraging me, because I went to the party at my friend's house, and then when he dropped me, and then when I was going home, he asked me to give some people a lift. And this lady was like, no, I'm feeling cold. Can you borrow me your sweater? I borrowed her my sweater. When she got off, I forgot to take it. And then when I got home, I called her, and then she's like, no, she never wore my sweater. And then that's when I realized that this nightlife, maybe it's not for me. So I was reluctant into getting into this DJ thing. But when I was in Cape Town, I realized that now I'm in full control. I started getting into it. I even went to study more about music business. I did study music business. I studied music production. I studied a lot of things. And then around 2010, I decided, maybe it's time now to start playing. But one thing for sure about music, AB, if you are doing music, say, as a second job, I think it's much easier. It's much easier because there's not much pressure in terms of income. But if you are doing it as your own source of income, there's a challenge there, because you might give up. Because it took me plus minus 4 years to get to a point where I say that, what, I'm staying at home. Whoever wants me to come and play will call me. It's not as commercial as it can be, like within few years. It can even take 6 years, 7 years before people recognize it. So for me, there was no pressure. Sure. I was just doing it in my own pace with no pressure, because I had a source of income on the side. But
I see. Yeah. And then when was that? When did you actually start playing as a DJ? And then was it a self-taught? I know we say you started practicing, or did you attend some form of DJing training?
I wouldn't say it was self-taught. It's been plus minus 11 to 12 years playing. I think late 2009. There's a guy called Slew in Stellenbosch. He was the one working with me. He taught me a lot, that guy. He's been a very good guy, like in terms of teaching me how to play. Matabata is saying that he's known me for a long time, that I've got musical passion. Yes, Kodisang Matabata is one of my colleagues. He knows music, and I've been with Kodisang, I think, around 2004. We were at Siemens together doing training. So if Kodisang says I've always had passion for music in 2004, that means it could be even more years than I thought, because that dates back to 16 years. Yeah, music is. I know the Kodisang guy also loves music. He's one of the guys who, about keyboard, he's very good with keyboard. I know he loves music, but sometimes what we love, we can't fully concentrate on it, because we also have a passion. Honestly speaking, what I do on a daily basis at Telkom is also my passion. That is what maybe is holding me back there and there. But let's say 12 years. Let's agree to 12 years since I started playing.
And a self-taught, you said, or did you attend some DJing skill training to perfect your game?
I was actually helped by DJ Slew. He helped me. He helped teach me some basics, and I also attended training at Soul Candy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you did mention. You attended Soul Candy.
Yeah.
And tell me, if you were to describe the type of music you play, what is it? Africanism? Is it soul house? Is it deep house? What is it? The music, the genre that describes King Retro. what they expect from you.
King Retro basically is when you was the retro name also, it's something classic. What I do is that I'm a kind of a DJ who believes that I must play timeless music. So the style that I play, besides putting the genre aside, I normally pick songs that I can see lifespan like it's too long. Like if I play a song this year, there's a song that you once introduced me to. I sent it back to you, I think, about a year ago. It's a deep,
I remember,
it's a deep house track.
Yeah.
Those are the songs the kind of music that defines me. Like you play a song, you drop a song like Rocco, Memories. I can never miss a song like that. Because when I first heard Rocco Memories, it stuck with me because I knew this is a timeless song. So it's my genre is about timeless. If I send you a deep house mix, you will love it and you'll feel like those songs, you can still play them in the next 10 years. Even when I play a particular genre like commercial or whatever you call it, even Gom itself, because there are some venues where that require that kind of music. If I play that, I always try to pick songs that can still be relevant in the next few years. So that is my approach to music and my style. My style is more of a timeless approach.
Do you think you will change to another genre like Mapiano when you play, or you stick to like DJ, like Glenn Lewis, the likes of Glenn Lewis and Da Vinci? They don't compromise what they play. They stick to a deep house.
True.
Do you think? Do you ever get tempted? When you're playing your music that you love or your style, but for you to get the crowd hyped up, are you almost tempted to go to Mapiano, so that how do you manage that?
I'm a compromiser when it comes to music. That one I'm not gonna run away from. AB, if you book me, I check. If, say, for example, I'm booked at CPUT or Vet University or UCT, I understand the kind of crowd that I'm going to play for. I can't get there and be introducing them to songs that are produced by Frankie Feliciano, some Ed Jazz and what. They don't have time for that. They want to be hyped up. So I play according to the client's needs. Sometimes even promoters, when they book me, I ask them, what do you want me to play? They tell me. And there are some people that book me. If say, for example, Seasons were still there or Blush were still there, they book me. I would know that they expect me to play deep house. There's places in Cape Town, like in Bizo. I know that they want deep house only. So I can't go there and play something that is not welcome there. If I go to Ace, I know Ace has got maybe a variety of DJs. And I will know that, okay, Ace says you are playing at 2 o'clock in the morning. And research about Ace knows that 2 o'clock in the morning, this is what is played. So I have to quite adapt. But if it's not something that I don't play, I'm honest enough to say, no, I can't do this one. But it has gone to the point, because the only thing that I don't play, the only genre that I don't play as yet is Amapiano. Because, like I said, it's a matter of relevance. Like you check, okay, this song, can it still be played in the next 5 years or so? Maybe there will be time when I'll get to understand Amapiano and say, okay, maybe this song can be played long. I mean, let's say, for example, a song by something so that was a hit last year, can it still be played in 2023? If I get convinced that they've got that kind of a lifespan, I'll play it. But for now, like I say, clients needs. It
depends on the occasion, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. So let's move along. Guys, please ask questions. We're here to get to have a conversation with our brother Molatelo, who's a multi-talented, a DJ, an academia, a profession. What do you call it? A corporate mogul. Are you a corporate engineering mogul?
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, because you know what? Something I would tell people, at the junior level, I was an engineer at Vodacom. Wow. And when I joined Telkom, I became a manager. It's very difficult. When you're a manager, it's even difficult to say I'm an engineer, because you even move away from some of the engineering stuff, because your focus is on management. I cannot make that mistake of I'm managing people, but I still want to be an engineer. You become a problem, because you end up trying to do people's jobs. And then
I see what you mean.
People get offended.
Yeah, you become a manager. You manage people, and when now you don't get to apply your engineering expertise. Yeah.
Because you only look at how many people do I have enough staff, those kind of things.
Yeah. Awesome, man. My next question, Iri, which was your first gig? Which was your first big gig that when you look back, you see it as your biggest break ever?
My first, when I joined.
Biggest gig. Yeah.
Yeah, there could be two. There's a place in Guguletu. My first set at a place called Pungas in Guguletu was very important. Yeah. And then
I remember Pungas. Yeah,
Pungas. They used to play deep house, but something that I can't forget. While I was playing at Pungas, there's this guy, Budget, the big guy, who used to act Costo. What do you call that? Stockfell. There's a Budget, the guy called Budget. I'm sure you know him.
Yeah.
Budget found me playing at Pungas, because I never used to go to Kailish. And Budget said to me, "Hey, my man, I love your music, man. Give me a number." I think that was the break, because ever since I met Budget, then gates opened.
Doors opened.
Yeah, no, the doors opened, because as much as he took me in, like he wanted me to assist him with his place, I realized when I started working with Budget that it's not about. I'm not necessarily talented in playing, but I can also do events and all. Because you can see, after moving from Budget to Ace started doing events, because now I started exploring my wings now. The events management started there with Budget. Then when I joined Ace, we took from where we left. Yeah.
So Mamela, we are 1953. It's 1953. So it's gonna cut off maybe in the next 2 or 3 minutes, né?
Yes.
I'm gonna log in. We must just restart again, né?
Yeah. Plus, I see a few questions that I like that.
There's a question here, Iri. I like that you took an opportunity to move from being an engineer to being a manager with the opposition company, because you might find that it will have taken you longer to be a manager at Vodacom.
Yeah,
and Kodisang says the most difficult question. The most difficult question musically, which is your favorite house track of all time? Yeah.
He knows it. He knows it. There's a song by Nomalanga. It's a remix by Swaziland guys, the Antidotes. I'm not even breaking down. That's my favorite song, Kodisang. And also, I think that and Hang Up on You by Infinite Boys remix. Those two songs. But you
love the Infinite Boys, eh? You love the Infinite Boys.
No, I do love them, but one song from them hit me hard. That Hang Up on You. And this man is telling the truth. Moving from engineering to management, it helps a lot, because all these CEOs, you find that the CEO of Engine has never worked as a petrol attendant. He was working somewhere, maybe as a mechanical engineer for BMW. And then he goes on to become a CEO of Engine or BP without any petroleum experience. So once you get into management space, the sky is the limit. You can manage anywhere. This is something that we need to teach everyone, all of us. We need to equip all of us, guys. Once you get into management space, that's it. You can manage anywhere.
Yeah. You can manage anywhere. Okay, so we are 1955. I'll tell you when it starts counting down. But I love this. The hour is gone already, Mona, and we're just like in the middle of the conversation, So my next question to you, if you can answer it quickly, tell us your relationship with Kwai Ace. You did mention this guy introduced you to Kwai Ace.
No, he didn't introduce me Kwai Ace. There's a place called Rents.
I know Rents,
it's new. The owner of Rents, which is more or less competition of Ace, Mshai, is the one who took me to Ace. He had me playing somewhere and said, "Hey, there's this DJ that I love. I want him to come and play Kwa Ace." You know what happened?
Yeah.
On the day that
I was going to... it's counting 20 seconds, né? 20 seconds to cut off.
Okay, then we
20 seconds to cut off.
We will continue after from this.
Yeah. So 60 seconds, 40 seconds.
Shai took me to Ace and said, "This is the guy for your Ace as a DJ."
10 seconds.
On the day that I was going to Ace.
So wait. Guys, please stay with us. I'm going to relog it again and save this conversation. Please don't go.